Hello, everyone. I wanted to pose a question. Does the Bible tell us when Nibiru arrives? If indeed Nibiru exists. Let's go to Revelations 12. I'm in the New International Version. The woman and the dragon. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Let's just first look at those two verses. First of all, a great sign appeared in heaven. Heaven is also known as the atmosphere or the sky. A woman clothed with the sun. This is in reference to Virgo, the constellation, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. The crown of 12 stars lets us know that it's Virgo, because Virgo actually has a crown of 12 stars around her head region. And then she is pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. This suggests that she's going to give birth to some sort of heavenly or astronomical object. What could it be? The only thing that actually moves in our atmosphere, in space, are planets. All the other stars move together, but the only thing that actually moves within our solar system are moons and planets, and comets, of course, and things like that. So if we take this picture and we look at it from an astrological point of view, we see that the woman is Virgo, the moon is under her feet, which will happen in the near future, and she will be clothed with the sun, and I'll show that to you in a few minutes. But who's the child? Now, right now there is actually a heavenly body, a planet, that has just come out of the womb of Virgo, as if it has been was being born. And that planet happens to be Saturn. Now, I looked it up, and I wanted to see what Saturn was. Saturn is known as a dragon. I don't know if it's a dragon, but Saturn is referred to as other gods to other ancient civilizations, and it also represents Satan, some people think. But I wanted to look at it from a biblical perspective and also from a Jewish perspective. I went to this website here, Astrology in the Bible, and right here it says Jupiter is the planet of the kings. And here it says Saturn is the planet that rules the Jews. So if Jupiter is the planet of kings, that is suggesting that Saturn, a planet which is a king, and he rules the Jews, therefore by given the king of the Jews. Who else do we know to be known as the king of the Jews? Well, Jesus is known to be the king of the Jews. And one thing that we learn about this verse in the Bible is that it said it is a child. Why did it say it was a child? And why are we talking about birth? We're talking about the woman, and in this comparison, the woman represents the Jewish people. Jesus represents the child who comes out of Israel. Now, you have to see it try to see it from my perspective. If Jesus is the child, how does a child come out of a woman's womb? A child always comes out head first. We also know that Christ is the head and that the church is the body. When Jesus came out, he was resurrected, and therefore the body now has to be resurrected. So I think that this verse is actually a picture of the rapture, and then Satan the dragon who comes to try to steal the child but can't. The child gets away. Jesus and the church, we get away. We get caught away in the rapture. But then the woman is still left behind. So I want to go ahead and continue. It says, Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its head. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon had stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth so that it might devour her child. The moment it was born, obviously, Satan cannot devour the child because we're caught away. But then she gave birth to a son, that's Jesus, and he will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. Now her child was snatched up to God, us, going to the throne, and the woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. We are actually talking about Israel, the Jewish people, who are going to be taken to a safe place after the rapture. But I wanted to really focus on the astrological aspect of this. Now let's look at the dragon and compare it to another heavenly body that is supposedly coming into our atmosphere. Whether Nibiru is real or not, there's so much information to suggest that it is. And I want to just go over some comparisons and things that we know about this, be it fictional or real planet or dwarf star. Let's look at the comparison of the red dragon. The dragon is red. Okay, we have the color red, and we also have Nibiru, which we know to be of a red color. Some people say it's a dark star. Some people say it's going to glow in red embers. I'm going to go ahead and go with the benefit of the doubt. It's going to be a red planet. Too many people are having visions and dreams about a red planet coming into our atmosphere, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that. A dragon has wings. Nibiru is known as the planet that has wings. It is a winged planet. And another thing a dragon has is a tail. Nibiru happens to have a tail of debris. It has gone through the Kuiper Belt, and as it has come out of the Kuiper Belt, it was dragging comets, meteor-type debris, all this space junk that was out on the Kuiper Belt, and it's dragging it behind it like a tail. And as it comes to Earth, it will, let's see here in Scripture, its tail swept a third of the stars and flung them to the earth. When Nibiru passes, it will cast down all this debris from its tail after it passes. It's not as it's passing, but after it passes. We will see Nibiru. Well, I don't think I'll see it because I'll be in the rapture. But Nibiru will pass by, and then afterward, its stars will be cast to the earth. Whether it happens during the first pass, see, Nibiru is supposed to be coming from the south. That's why we can't see it. And it will arrive, and it will suddenly appear in our atmosphere. We can't see it. It's being hidden by clouds, storms from the South Pole. We can't see it. But suddenly it will appear. And it will come from the south, and it's going to come up. I have this idea that it's actually going to be far away from us when it comes up, and it'll look like the size of our sun. So it won't be really big in the sky, just maybe the size of our sun. So it'll actually appear smaller than the moon. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't really know, but that's what I'm speculating. And then as it goes up over our sun, it's got to come back around because it's on a highly elliptical orbit. So it's got to come back around and come back down towards the south. Well, as it comes back down, it's got to go through our solar system one more time. And I think that second time that it comes through, I think that's when it's going to cause all the major damage that we see in the Bible. I think that's when the stars are going to fall from the heavens and cast to the earth. I believe that's when you're going to have. I know that there will be large earthquakes when Nibiru passes us, but I also believe that if it comes by us a second time and it's a whole lot closer and it appears so much larger. I mean, some scientists are saying this thing is going to be within 4 to 5 Earth distances from us. If Nibiru is 4 times the size of Jupiter, it's giant. And then it's going to mask out the sun, which will darken it for a number of days. And because it's the color red, the light casting off of Nibiru will hit the moon, and the moon will actually appear blood red. I'm not talking about a blood moon where it looks kind of like a brownish color. I'm talking about blood red. So we can see how all that actually ties into Revelation Scripture as well. So I just wanted to take you to a program called Stellarium so that you could actually see what I'm seeing, and it's really, really interesting. I am on September 19th. This is after the Feast of Trumpets this year, September 17th and 18th, which I believe is when the rapture will happen. I know people say you do not know the day or the hour or whatever. God tells us we'll know the season. He says we will not know the day or the hour, which is true. The Feast of Trumpets is on a 2-day period. We don't know which day he's coming, and we don't know which time he's coming. So it's still true. I'm not pinpointing a date. There's 2 days it could be on. And I'm not to say that it's this year, but I believe it is because of the signs in the heavens, the signs in the earth, the rumors of wars, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, everything you can think of, all the stuff that's happening to our government that's behind the scenes that nobody's been talking about, it's not in the news. It's just kind of all pointing to it. I'm not going to go into detail of all of that, but I wanted to show you this. Here is Stellarium. It's a free program. You can download it on the internet. It allows you to see the stars, the constellations, how they're going to be in the future, in the past. So I moved forward to September 19th, which is the day after the Feast of Trumpets, or the Rosh Hashanah. And I believe that we will be raptured, and then this will appear in the sky. On September 19th, early in the morning, I am facing east. I'm actually, in this program, I'm in Israel. So I'm looking at it from Jerusalem. And I'm facing east. And it is in the morning, and I'm going to go ahead and start playing this. Okay, there she is. Now, I'm going to turn on the atmosphere so you can see why she's clothed in the sun. You will not be able to see Virgo because of the sun. You won't be able to see the constellation of stars. However, it is there. She is there. John saw it in Revelations because he was in the spirit, and he was probably hovering above the earth, which means he wasn't in our atmosphere, and he probably did not have all this white fuzzy sky. If he was outside of our atmosphere, it would actually look like this. It all depends on where he was when Jesus showed him the vision. Now, here she is. She's clothed in the sun. All right, there is Saturn in her womb. That actually, this is, I don't know if this is her womb or if that's her womb or whatever, but here's Saturn. And Saturn actually came out from this direction. So she's giving birth to this child, Saturn, the king of the Jews. And Virgo represents Israel. Okay, so I'm going to keep going so that you can see this other important facet. Alright, where is the moon? Here's the moon. It's under her feet. I went one day ahead for some reason. This is the 20th. I should go back. Okay. It's real trigger happy. Okay, there you see the moon is under her feet. This does not happen during the Rosh Hashanah. The moon is actually up here somewhere during the Rosh Hashanah or the Feast of Trumpets. But here's the moon under her feet. Now, you hear me mention the Feast of Trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets is when I believe the rapture will happen because it is a picture of the rapture. If you don't know what that means, I have another video that explains it. Also, you can just type in Feast of Trumpets, rapture. You will find plenty of videos that explain why people believe that the rapture will happen on the Feast of Trumpets. But here we are. The sun, Virgo, the child in the womb. The moon is under her feet. So if this is a picture, then there's got to be a dragon, right? All right, well, I've had some people, you know, they on the internet, on YouTube or wherever, they're saying, well, here's the dragon right here. It's the serpent. Well, no, that's not a dragon. That's a serpent. It's a snake. You can't call it a dragon. And you could say Draco, but Draco's like way, you know, he's a constellation, so he's always going to be the same position away from Virgo. So there's never going to be an opportunity where Draco can appear, you know, to come and devour the child. It's not going to happen. So there's got to be another explanation of this dragon. Now, so if Virgo is an astrological object, the moon is an object, the planet Saturn is the child, then maybe there's another heavenly body that moves. That is the dragon. So we know that Nibiru is supposed to come from the south. So here's the south over here. And so it's going to come up this way. So at some point on September 19th, we might even be able to see it sometime during the Feast of Trumpets. Who knows? But I believe it's going to happen suddenly. I don't think we're going to see it until it's here, because it is coming from so far south of us, like almost directly underneath us, that we won't be able to see it until the day it's designed to appear. And then I believe we'll see it right here coming towards Saturn. It's gonna be heading in this direction. So we will be able to see it, and especially if it's the size of the sun, we will be able to see it. And it will, if the sun's out, it might be dim. You might not be able to see it very clearly, but if it's big, then we'll definitely see it. So that is my question, and this is why I question it, because there's so much. I wouldn't say it's evidence, but it certainly doesn't go past the realm of observation and something to be considered. So there you have it. There's my information. You decide, as always. So comment if you will or not. Thanks.